Good morning. Welcome to the UU Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. We are delighted that you could join us for the service. Our mission at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Rebecca Senaway, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you're a newcomer or a visitor to our congregation, please go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill to receive more information about our congregation and to receive our weekly email newsletter. Also, if you'd like to be greeted as a newcomer after the service, please take a red mug and members will seek you out and make sure that you are warmly welcomed. If you're joining us online today, please say hello or good morning in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'd like to hear from you and extend a welcome to you as well. A gentle reminder to please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices so that we can enjoy this service uninterrupted. Today's sermon is titled, We Will Get There. In the words of the song, Woyaya, we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. This sermon explores how to navigate a journey when you don't know all the twists and turns of the path or even what the destination might look like. Our opening words were written by James Broughton. This is it.
And I am it.
And you are it.
And so is that.
And he is it.
And she is it.
And it is it.
And that is that. Oh, it is this.
And it is thus.
And it is them.
And it is us.
And it is now.
And here it is.
And here we are.
So this is it. Please join me in saying the words to light our chalice. We kindled this chalice to join our smaller sparks, to form a larger flame that lights the way towards compassion and justice.
Good morning. Ooh, we are full today. There are just a couple seats down here. If you got an open seat next to you, would you raise your hand? Thanks, guys. Yeah, a couple in here. All right, the ushers have noted those locations, and they'll help out. Please rise and embody your spirit to join in singing our opening song. This is it. This is a new one. So Doug's going to play through the melody on the trumpet. Yay, I know. The first time through, and then we will dramatically pause. And then we will join in singing it all together.
1, 2, 3.
This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. Don't wait until tomorrow to let yourself be free. This is it. This is the place you want to be. All right, we're going to sing that verse one more time. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. Don't wait until tomorrow to let yourself be free. This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is the song you want to sing. This is it. This is it. This is the song you want to sing. This is it. This is it. This is the song you want to sing. Don't wait until tomorrow to let your voices
song you want to sing.
This is the love you want to feel. This is it. This is it. This is the love you want to feel.
This is it. This is it. This is the love you want to feel. Don't wait until tomorrow to let your love be real. This is it. This is the love you want to feel.
The world is calling out to you.
This is it. This is it. The world is calling out to you. This is it. This is it. The world is calling out to you. Don't wait until tomorrow for what you came to do. This is it.
The world is calling out to you. Take it away, Doug.
Doug.
The place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be.
Don't wait until tomorrow to let yourself be free.
This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. This is it. This is it. This is the place you want to be. Yes, Sunnyhill. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Carol Slomsky, and I am grateful to have been a member of this congregation since October of 2019, and I am in my second year of serving on the board. Beside me, I have Rachel Beam, who is our board president, and Michelle Corby-Potvin, who is our vice president. But I get to speak first. I'm giving this month's board moment and also recognizing our volunteer of the month. Our board this year has identified 6 goals, but I just want to talk about one of them, and that is to review and potentially revise our mission statement. We say a little bit of our mission statement every Sunday during the welcome part of our service. And our mission statement technically is supposed to be revised every 5 years. Our current mission statement is 20 years old without revision, so now would be as good a time as any to revise it. We'll be talking about this in more detail during this coming year and next year as well. But I think it fits in very well with the capital campaign that we are undertaking as well, because this is it, right? This is where we want to be. This is a place where our core value is love, surrounded by the values of justice, interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, and generosity. And those values have never been more important, at least in my life, than they are today. So we need to be it. We need to be the light in the darkness. We need to use our time, talent, and our treasure to help build this beloved community. Now I would like to recognize Donna Kaufman, who is our volunteer of the month. Unfortunately, Donna can't be here today because of a serious illness in her family, but I think you will join me in giving her a round of applause for all her time and talent that she gives to us. So thank you, Donna.
Look at this full house. I love it. As you know, today we're also recognizing Rev Jim's 10-year anniversary with Sunnyhill. His first official day with us was at the end of August 10 years ago. So we are as close as we can be to the 10-year anniversary. And for those of you who've been here that long or longer, when you think about how far we've come in that time, it's just really remarkable, and all that we've been through together. We've grown to 340 members is the latest count. We even kept growing through COVID, all under the spiritual leadership of Rev Jim. And I've had the privilege of working with him for the past 4 or 5 years. I'm 3 on the board and 1 or 2 on the ministry committee, and it has been a true pleasure. And what's also remarkable to me is that for me, in every service, every sermon resonates with me and inspires me. And just a little personal story. Earlier this year, I attended a Catholic Mass with my mom. While she's been as supportive as she can be to my conversion to UU, she was thrilled that I came with her. And for the first time in decades, I fully listened and I fully engaged in what was being said to see what I had been missing. And I came out of it more passionate than ever about being here. And it was just... it was just another reminder for me of how lucky we are to all have found the deeper and more meaningful experience of Sunnyhill, and much of that is thanks to Reverend Jim's incredible work. So the board wanted to say thanks with a small token of appreciation. So Rev Jim, if I could ask you to come up, and my helpers, and Michelle and Carol, are going to, if you don't mind, but just pulling those out and showing. Thank you. So many of you know that Rev Jim has an appreciation for poetry, and especially the poetry of Mary Oliver. So we're happy to present these 3 prints to Rev Jim. One is a sketch of Mary Oliver herself. Another is an artful print of her poem Mysteries. And the third is an artful print of one stanza from one of her poem called Invitation. And I'll read that one, which is, "It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world." So Rev Jim, we thank you, and we hope that these will bring you a little bit of peace and joy. We have both regular cake and gluten-free cupcakes, and we invite you all to participate after the service. Thank you so much, Rev Jim.
Thank you all. Please be seated. I really do appreciate it so much. These past 10 years with Sunnyhill have been an absolutely amazing journey, both for me and I think for the congregation. I'm not going to go into all of the ups and downs that we've experienced, but I will say that I have always, or very nearly almost always, felt so supported and appreciated by this congregation, and it has meant the world to me and my family. So thank you, Sunnyhill, for everything. I really am grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be a part of a congregation that is thriving, that is growing in every imaginable way, and that is making a difference in this world where it is so sorely needed. If you're wondering what might be a good way of marking this occasion that would make a difference to me and that I would appreciate, I ask that if you have not already done so, please make a pledge to our Be the Future capital campaign. If you want to help me with my peace of mind and my ability to sleep well at night, perhaps the very best thing you can do is to make a generous pledge. I'll use this opportunity to segue into our capital campaign moment for this week. I'm going to start out with some numbers. This is a big number. As many of you already heard, we passed the 1 million mark in pledges this week, and I think we should give ourselves a hand for this remarkable achievement. Thank you so much to everyone who has pledged so far. We have received a total of 36 pledges out of our goal of about 200 or so pledges, which would represent around 90% of our pledging units. I'd like to show you what these pledges to date have looked like and what we still need to do if we are to reach our goal. This slide shows the pledges we have received so far. And by the way, we'll also throw in a link to this information in this week's Beat in case you can't see all of this information or want to take a closer look. The slide shows so far no gifts at $500,000 or above, 3 at $100,000 or above, totaling $650,000. 6 between $25,000 and $99,000, yes. 9 between $10,000 and $24,000. 5 between $5,000 and $9,000. 8 between $2,000 and $4,000. And 5 between $1 and $1,999. So if you add those up, that's 36 total pledges for $1,062,450,000. The first 3 columns on this next slide are identical to the previous slide, but I've added 2 more columns to show what we need to make our goal. And this is just one possible scenario for how we might meet the goal with pledges that are still outstanding. Obviously, there are many ways that it might play out, but this is one way that it might work. To make the goal, we would need to get at least 1 pledge of $500,000 or more, 6 more at the $100,000 to $500,000 level, 12 more at the $25,000 to $99,000, 30 more in the 10 to 24 and at the 5 to 10, 40 at the 2 to 4, and 30 at the 1 to 2 level. That would get us at, I believe, right at 200 pledges altogether and just over 4.4 million if you add those together. That's doable. That's the informational part of my presentation. And as I said, we will share this information via the Beat and on our website in this coming week. For the inspirational part of my presentation, I'm going to invoke what might be an unlikely figure in a UU context. Some of you are old enough to remember the TV evangelist Oral Roberts, for whom Oral Roberts University was named. And some of you may know where I'm going with this. Roberts was an old-school, faith-healing evangelical who was always raising money for one thing or another. Many of these causes were, I think, actually very good causes, including medical centers and the like, while others were perhaps slightly questionable. In 1987, Oral Roberts found that he was falling short of a fundraising goal by some $8 million. Money that needed to be raised within a month, and this was cash money, not just pledges, within a month if the proposed project was to go forward according to the timeline put forth. So Roberts sent out an appeal to all of his followers. This time, according to Roberts, God was taking the initiative. Roberts stated in a fundraising appeal letter and on television that unless he raised a total of $8 million above regular ministry expenses in 30 days, he would die. His letter said, "I desperately need you to come into agreement with me concerning my life being extended beyond March." A follow-up letter signed by Roberts' son, Richard, affirmed that without the money needed to send out missionary healing teams, God will not extend Dad's life. Oral and Richard Roberts made similar statements on their weekly television programs. A public outcry led several television stations to drop programs containing the controversial appeal. But Roberts did meet his fundraising goal, and he did, in fact, remain alive, at least for a couple more decades after that.
Now, unlike Oral Roberts, I have not received any word from God that my life will end if we do not reach our goal for Sunnyhill's capital campaign. However, my thinking on this matter is a new slogan I've come up with, which is pledge now, better safe than sorry. In all seriousness, I know this congregation, and I know that I do not have to resort to emotional blackmail to get you to pledge. This is a generous, thriving congregation that wants to continue thriving well into the future, and the best way to safeguard this congregation's future is to support the capital campaign at whatever level you can. As you saw from that chart, we need gifts of every level in order to make our goal. Thanks again to everyone who has pledged, and thanks to everyone else for the pledge you are about to make or will make soon. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to this congregation. Thank you again.
All right, kiddos, it's your turn. If there are any kiddos in the room that want to come up for our time for all ages, we're going to have a seat right in front of me. Thank you. Good morning, friends. So good to see your faces today. Look at all of y'all. All righty, let's get started. There was once a stream that started way up high on a mountain. It traveled through every kind of countryside and at last reached the sands of the desert. It had made its way through and around every barrier it came across until this one. It had found that as fast as it ran into the sand, its waters disappeared right into it. It was convinced, however, that it was its destiny to cross this desert, and yet there was no way. Now a hidden voice coming from the desert itself whispered, "The wind crossed the desert, and so can the stream." "Ugh," said the stream, "the wind can fly. That's why it can cross the desert." The hidden voice said, "By attempting to get through the way you always have, you cannot get across. You'll either disappear or become a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to your destination." But how, the stream wondered? By allowing yourself to be absorbed in the wind. This idea wasn't acceptable to the stream. After all, it had never been absorbed before. It did not want to lose its individuality. And if it lost it, how would it get it back? "The wind," said the whisper, "will help you with this. The wind takes up the water, carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water once again becomes a river." "How could I know that this is true?" said the stream. "It is so, and if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a quagmire," which is a word for the spongy, wet ground that's hard to walk in. And even that could take many, many years. And it's certainly not the same as a stream. "But can I not remain the stream as I am today?" "You cannot remain the same," the whisper said. "The essence of you will be carried away to become the stream again. Don't you remember? You've done this before." When it heard this, certain echoes began to arise in the thoughts of the stream. Dimly, it remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of the wind. And the stream raised its vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily took it upwards and along, letting it fall softly as soon as they reached the roof of a mountain many, many miles away. And because it had its doubts, the stream was able to remember and record more strongly in its mind the details of the experience. It reflected, "Yes, now I have learned my true identity." One of the lessons of this story is that anytime we start something new, whether it's a trip to somewhere we've never been before, or moving to a new house, or starting a new school, or starting school for the first time, we know that we will be changed by the experience. It's only by changing that we can grow. But we also know that even with all the changes that may happen, there's still some essential part of who we are that we always carry with us. Something that sometimes will become even clearer as a result of all those changes. So our job is to remain open to all of it, all of the changes and all the things that we can learn along the way. And with that, we will head to our class downstairs. Let's sing the children out.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you. As you go,
go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. We are going, heaven knows where we are going.
We know
We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know we're there, we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
Good morning. My name is Joe Barker, and I'm a member of the Sunnyhill Pastoral Care Team. I have a very short reminder today that we are holding on September 14th at Sunnyhill a Smart Aging Workshop, which is going to be very practical and hands-on and planning-oriented. And we're fortunate that we have 3 community partners that will join us that day. We have the Jewish Community Center Age Well that will be with us. We also have the Allegheny County Area Agency on Aging that will be here, sharing about their senior line and other resources. And we also will have the United Way Pennsylvania Southwest chapter, sharing with us also their resources and their resource hotline. So please, if you're interested, go to the Beat and sign up. As a part of the pastoral care team, we are made up of Sunnyhill members who are trained on how to be a listening presence for the members of our congregation. We are individuals who are willing to sit and talk and walk with those in need of our support. We hope that you will contact a member of our pastoral care team when you have a need. If you have any questions, please contact Reverend Jim, a member of the team, or Beth Thornton. You can submit a joy or sorrow on Sunnyhill's website or by filling out a form that you can find in our foyer on Sunday mornings. After each joy or sorrow that I read, please respond by saying with me, "We hold you in our hearts." The first extreme joy this morning is from Joe Barker, a member of Sunnyhill. My joy today, along with many others, is the presence of our pastor, Jim. On a personal level, when I leave here on Sunday, I find his sermons, his meditation, and his reflection gives me strength and guidance to move forward. And all of us need that in our lives. And for that, I am extremely grateful to Jim and to the congregation and members that chose him. Job well done. To Jim and his family, we hold you in our hearts. We have a joy from Mary Kretschmar. Mary writes, "I hope it'll be a joy. I'm having a reverse shoulder replacement on August 29th. For Mary, we hold you in our hearts." We have a joy today from Lillian Lastly, and I love this. I even have a prop related to this joy. Lillian writes, "I've just published a book entitled The Labyrinth as a Sacred Cosmos, Rituals of Unity and Diversity. This book explores the spiritual uses of the labyrinth in a variety of religious traditions, and of course, it's available on Amazon." To Lillian and her thoughtful writing, we hold you in our hearts. As we sing our musical meditation, for those joys and sorrows unspoken but close to our hearts, we invite anyone who feels moved to do so to come forward, light a candle at the front of the sanctuary, place it in the sand, and return to your seat.
Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Life sometimes takes us for a roller coaster ride, takes us through highs and lows, twists and turns, joys and sorrows, frustrations and contentment, restless excitement and bone-crushing boredom. A dizzying series of experiences and emotions coming at us in a way that can result in a kind of life-induced spiritual motion sickness. In the midst of these hairpin turns and abrupt rises and falls, how we long for stillness, for even the briefest reprieve from one thing after the next, tumbling, cascading, madly and mindlessly, clattering endlessly toward no apparent end. When we are able to take just a moment to step off the ride, to pause its wild motion and simply be here, when we are able to make room for stillness in our heads and in our hearts, what a difference it can make. Let us pause now in silence as we sense both the motion and the stillness of our lives. May we return to this place of stillness again and again. May we experience solace and strength in such moments, and in so doing, may our essence be restored. Amen. One of those lovely framed Mary Oliver prints that was just given to me contains a few lines from Mary Oliver's poem Invitation, which I'd like to share with you now in its entirety. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day for the goldfinches that have gathered in a field of thistles, for a musical battle to see who can sing the highest note or the lowest, or the most expressive of mirth, or the most tender. Their strong, blunt beaks drink the air as they strive melodiously, not for your sake and not for mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for the sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say, it is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life." I would like to pair that quote from Mary Oliver, "It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world," with this one from philosopher and theologian Martin Buber. The world is not comprehensible, but it is embraceable. The world is not comprehensible, but it is embraceable. Together, these statements point to one of the most important questions of our journeys as human beings. How do we embrace this world and the journeys of our lives, even in the face of brokenness and our inability to comprehend all of it, or even any of it sometimes? I'm going to use two excerpts from Mark Nepo's book, As Far as the Heart Can See, to dig a little deeper into this important matter of learning to embrace the world. Learning to embrace the world is a spiritual practice. It's not something that we learn in the same way that we learn multiplication tables or the alphabet. Spiritual practices require discipline, certainly, but more importantly, they require a kind of incessant opening up rather than an absolute mastery or even proficiency, at least not in our everyday understanding of such things. And there's a basic misunderstanding about spiritual practices. They're not about escaping or transcending this moment with all of its joy and with all of its pain. Rather, spiritual practices enable us to fully experience this moment as it is. It's not about bypassing our lived experiences. It's about going more deeply into those experiences. The Hindu deity Ganesh, typically depicted as an elephant, offers some wisdom about going more deeply into our lived experiences rather than trying to escape from them. Ganesh is known as the provider and remover of obstacles. As described by Mark Nepo, legend has it that when the task to race around the world was given, Ganesh did not traverse the outer surface of the earth, but simply walked inwardly around Shiva and Parvati, his mother and father, who are the source and center of all existence. This is the secret understanding of Ganesh, for often the obstacles we experience are presented as ways to remember that the inner walk around the source, not the outer race, is the purpose of living. Nepo continues, the obstacles are presented to break our trance with the race and jar us humbly back to the source, and they are often removed once our deeper sense has been restored. It is important to realize that Ganesh is a god of embodied wisdom who knows the life of obstacles of which he is guardian. He is a god because he has lived through all the world has to offer, not because he transcends it. Often he holds in his right hand one of his own tusks, which he broke off in a fit of anger and hurled at the moon. But the moon spit it back, and he carries that broken piece of himself as a reminder of the earthly journey that no one can escape. Often, Nepo says, in living through what the world has to offer, we find ourselves in our own way, stubbornly gripping to our own broken tusk, stubborn in what we want, how we see things, how we approach things, and how we respond to things. And so The life of obstacles, or what we perceive as obstacles, is suddenly there to break our stare and return us to what matters. That image of breaking off one's own tusk in frustration and anger and hurling it towards the moon is one that seems intimately familiar to me. There are so many things to be angry about in our world, so many sources of frustration. And so often, when we hurl a broken part of ourselves outward, we find that it boomerangs back to us, leaving us no choice but to learn how to live with it and ultimately how to embrace it. The path strewn with obstacles is a hard road to follow, but it is the only road before us, and it is the path that will lead us towards something like wisdom if we are willing to engage and embrace it. This understanding of obstacles does not make them any less real, nor does it necessarily make them comprehensible. But it does perhaps help us embrace these seemingly problematic aspects of our lives and our journeys. The good news is that we are not alone on these journeys. Others are walking this path with us, and others still have walked similar paths with similar obstacles before us. Mark Nepo shares the story of a friend he calls Mary. Mary loved the light of late summer as it turned toward fall. It had an extra brightness, especially in the morning before everyone else was up. It was particularly bittersweet on this day, as her dear friend Laura had died the week before. And of all the things they shared and left at one another's home, Mary this morning found Laura's robe because the early light she so loved had shone through her bedroom window, across her bed, and into her closet. She took the robe out and ran her hands up and down its sleeve. It was hard to imagine life without Laura. It wasn't long before Mary put her friend's robe on. She opened the window and stood completely in the light, and soon Mary fell into imagining the world after her own death, imagining her daughter putting on her robe the morning after she will die. But strangely, it wasn't sad. No, the sadness gave way to something deeper. Nepo continues, now she began to sense a cascade of women putting on each other's robes, generation after generation, each aware of the one who came before, each bowing to the world that keeps going beyond us, each participating in the tender awareness that though we are necessary, the world can do without us. And suddenly each, putting on the robe of the one who came before, seemed a tether of what matters, an unbreakable lineage of how fragile and precious we are. She stood in Laura's robe in the early morning light, feeling all alone, but not alone. And as far as Mary's heart could see, women throughout the ages were slipping on each other's robes. She closed her eyes and began to sway. She could almost hear the secrets of one pass to the other. That image of women throughout the ages slipping on each other's robes, tethered to one another by their own mortality and shared experience, is one that has stuck with me. When we stop to consider those who came before us and those who will come after us, when we pause to consider these sometimes invisible and tenuous threads of interconnection, then we begin to see how this world might be embraced even when it is painful and seemingly incomprehensible. The song Mary and I sang earlier, Wo Ya Ya, offers some wisdom about how to embrace the journeys of our lives, how to live with the unknown, how to keep going even when we don't entirely know where our next step will lead us. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. The world is not comprehensible, but it is embraceable, especially when we can perceive obstacles, sometimes rough and muddy, returning us to what truly matters, and when we realize that we are a part of a fragile yet unbreakable lineage that connects us to one another across time and place. I hope and pray that we will learn together how to embrace this world, that we will remind each other that it is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise again and body your spirit to join in singing, We Are Building a New Way.
Sorry.
Better. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. it again. We
are building a new way.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of August is UU Justice PA, which is a statewide organization of UUs concerned with issues of justice at both the state and national levels. UU Justice PA's mission is to pursue justice by voting, advocating, and making just public policies. If you'd like to make a gift via our online giving system, you can do so by going to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says Online Giving, and then follow the instructions. Or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. All text gifts will go to our Share the Plate offering. We'll be passing offering baskets for cash and checks in just a moment. If you're writing a check, please put Share the Plate in the memo line. Thank you so much for your generosity. Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
A couple of quick reminders. We're doing a big social justice organizing session here in the sanctuary in about 10 minutes. So if you'd like to be a part of our social justice efforts at Sunnyhill in any way, I invite and encourage you to stay for that session. Have time to probably get a cup of coffee and come back in the sanctuary if you're interested. Also, I wanted to remind everybody that 2 weeks from today, September 8th, will be our Sunnyhill Participation Fair, where we'll have tables set up all around the church for the various teams and committees and events that will be taking place this year, so that you can find more information about that. That will also be our last service with just one service on Sunday morning, 2 weeks from today, September 8th, and then we'll go back to our 2-service schedule. We'll close with these words, again from James Broughton. This is it. This is really it. And this is all there is, and it's perfect as it is. There is nowhere to go but here. There is nothing here but now. There is nothing now but this. And this is it. This is really it. This is all there is, and it's perfect as it is. Go in peace.